Well, greetings, my beloved clients and friends. We're coming to the end of the year, and we just had our Christmas party this week. And we did some, towards the end of the year, you do some reflection, and at the party, we did some reflection as well. And so this year marks 30 years for me as a investment manager. And my career started 32 years ago. This company called Western Financial Planning in Solana Beach. I was a financial planner there for a couple years. But when I graduated, I really wanted to be a banker. I wanted to go into banking, and the timing wasn't right. 91, when I graduated, was right in the middle of the S&L crisis, and banks weren't hiring. They were laying off bankers. And so I worked at this financial planning firm for a couple years and learned the basics of the business. But 2 years after that, I got an opportunity to go work for Wells Fargo and to pursue my dream of becoming a banker. I wanted to be a commercial lender. And the doors weren't quite opening in that division, but they really wanted me on the investment side because of my experience. So after 2 years, I said, okay, I'll go work on the investment side, and I've been there ever since. This year, like I said, marks 30 years. I was at Wells Fargo for 10. Then Bank of America came and got me to be a regional manager in the Inland Empire, which would have entailed moving around a lot. And so I started my own practice in 2007, and that's what I've been doing ever since. And so several clients have followed me along in my career. And at the party, we had some clients that were originally Wells Fargo clients, and some originally Bank of America clients, and the rest clients that had been with me since I started my own practice. And some have been there more than 20 years, and some were just new this year. And so there was just a really good mix, and we had a good time. There was also 3 empty seats, which represented 3 long-term clients that had passed away in 2023. And we just wanted to celebrate their memory, and we had 3 seats for them. And it kind of really talks to the goal of my practice. It was to get my clients to the 2 major financial milestones with dignity. The one being retirement. And I always have fun when our clients are getting close to retirement, and as they get closer, they're like, really? I could really stop working and still have a comfortable lifestyle? And I'm like, yes, you could. We've planned for this. You could stop working for an income and let your assets provide you an income. And fortunately, we have never had to tell a client, hey, you need to go back to work, or hey, you've run out of money. And to get them to that second milestone, which is the finish line, the day they meet their maker, right, without having run out of money, and maybe leave a little bit of a legacy, leave something for the generations to come. And that's what I want to talk about today, that generational wealth. Because at the party, we have several clients where I managed 3 generations of wealth for them. And one of them was in attendance, and the 3 generations were actually in attendance. The mom was there, the daughter, and the granddaughter, all of whom were clients. And so that was really cool. And others, all 3 generations weren't there, but they were represented, maybe by the patriarch or the matriarch. And actually, I had one client come up to me at the party and say, hey, Jonathan, I need to get together with you. I need to open another account because I had another great grandchild. So in that family, We have actually 4 generations, you know. She's getting ready to open an account for another one of the great grandchildren. And in that family, we have aunts and cousins that we manage their wealth. And, you know, that made me feel really good that, you know, I'm able to manage generational wealth for my clients. And I wanted to talk about that and kind of what that one client is doing and what could be the impact of taking such an action. So imagine when a grandchild or great grandchild, is in this case, is born, and you put $10,000 into account one time at their birth, and that's it. What could be the impact of that? And so over the course of our invest in our portfolios, our average returns, so we started tracking in like 2009, really the portfolio returns. It's been north of 12%, closer to 14. And so at that rate, if you know the rule of 72, which is the rate at which money doubles, at 12%, the money will double every 6 years. At 14%, it would double every 5.1 years or so. Okay, so if we just put that money to grow and never drew from it, we could expect, or has been the case, that it has doubled every 5 to 6 years. So imagine you set this account up for the kid when he's born, he or she is born, and just let it grow. By the time that kid is 60, and that means that would have doubled 10 to 12 times. And so what would that look like? And let's just say it doubled 10 times. Okay, you start with 10,000. It'd go to 20,000, 40,000, 80,000, 160,000, 320,000, 640,000, 1.28 million, 2.56 million, 5 million and change, 10 million and change, if it doubled 10 times. If it doubled 12 times, it'd be 12, add another, 10, add another 2, 20 million, 40 million. So you figure that one $10,000 gift to that great grandchild, 60 years later, 10,000 grows to 10 million, somewhere between 10 and 40 million. Generational wealth. Okay, now factor in, well, what about inflation, Jonathan? And you would expect inflation, the cost of stuff in general, not investments, but stuff in general, would have doubled about twice in that period of time. So that 10 million in today's dollars would be halved twice to 5 million to 2.5 million. So even after inflation, if inflation stays in the 2 to 3% range, which is the Fed's goal, and they're aggressively trying to keep it there, after about a year and a half where it shot out of the desired range, yeah, 10 million to 2.5 million in today's dollars would still be a big help for that kid. You know, they could use it for other things along the way, whether it's college or buying a house or starting a business. But man, to let it compound would really make a huge difference in legacy, right? Generational wealth. So I just wanted to, just a thought around the end of the year, if you're thinking about maybe what to do and thinking beyond, you know, will I have enough to retire, and thinking about, you know, being a blessing or a help to those future generations, with a relatively small initial contribution. And bear in mind, 60 years along the way, what would that look like? I said, average, if it averages 12 to 14%. A couple things, man, what a difference between 12 and 14, right? 10 million to 40 million. And so a percentage or two makes a huge difference over time. And that's why we try to keep our fees extremely low. Because, I mean, if you had the same performance from someone else that was charging you 2% compared to what I charge, it'd be substantially less over a period of time. So we have an announcement to make coming next year. But yeah, we do everything we can to keep our fees extremely low. That's why we buy individual securities. So there's not 2 or 3 levels of fees built into your investment. Now, the other thing, over 60 years, if we say it averages 12 to 14, does that mean on a bad year 8 and a good year 16? No. I would expect over 60 years there would probably be 10 years where it didn't make anything and maybe even lost a little bit. And of those 10, maybe 3 or 4 where it not only lost a little bit but had a big drop. Yet through it all, including those years where it didn't make anything, lost a little bit, or had a big drop, we've averaged that 12 to 14% over time. And that's what our expectation would be. So you got to be prepared for a little bit of volatility. It just comes with the game. So we hope this stimulates some thought. If you want to talk more about how you could preserve some generational wealth, we'd be happy to discuss it with you. In the first quarter, we're going to start talking about reviewing your beneficiaries. We'll talk more about that. But we're just kind of reflecting as we're approaching the end of the year, and I wanted to share some big picture thoughts with you. And I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, season's greetings to every one of you. Thank you for another year, and we look forward to next year. Okay, like we say, we love our beloved clients and friends, and have a great day.